I want to shift gears just a little bit. We talked a lot about Core Drive 1, meaning, and you've heard a little bit about the massive transformative purpose, which definitely digs into meaning. This is one of the places where the ExO framework and the Octalysis framework have a lot of agreement that we seek that purpose, we seek meaning, and you're clearly doing that. Deb Barg from Brazil has asked us, and she asked us through the game that you saw the little clip for earlier, actually, which was really cool. We've been able to use that to solicit input for these types of events. Deb says, with so much suffering around the world, with growing poverty and hunger, with our forests being sacrificed, how can we as communities help? How can gaming find solutions and options?
Sure, I can take steps. So
yeah,
so gamification design is all about making important but potentially mundane activities more engaging, right? And there's already a lot of projects out there that are about gamifying safety, philanthropy, helping. There's lots of projects that I've personally consulted that before there's hey, the reward program is do all these activities and you get like a free Starbucks gift card. But now they're transitioning to, hey, do all these activities and you get to provide food to a kid who would be starving tonight. And that actually, I believe, is way more meaningful. You say, hey, instead of saying you got a $5 gift card, like 9 kids didn't have to starve tonight because of you, right? One definitely feels more meaningful than the Starbucks gift card for at least most people in the community we know. And there are some projects where it's also about, hey, every time you send money through as a financial transaction. This is actually, there's one, it's the app in China, Alipay. When you send transactions, basically return the resource, blah, 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 they end up planting a real tree in the world. And I think the last time I checked a few years ago, they planted 120 million trees just because of this app. And that obviously helps the global ecosystem quite a bit. So I think we're moving more and more into a variety of designs that help the world. And I think that is not only good for the world, it's good for engagement and business metrics, because if people feel like, hey, I'm just using your finance app, right? But I feel like a hero saving the world, they're obviously sticking to this for much longer, as opposed to another app that is just function for use transactions. And I don't feel like I'm making a difference in the world. So I think it's good for business and for the world.
That's great. Jun or Salim, do you want to add anything on that one? I think it's a really important topic.
Jun, go ahead.
So I think it's an interesting question. I mean, there's so many problems in the world that was pointed out. I look at it from 2 fronts. The first front is being able to take care of yourself first and then going out there and taking care of the world. So what I mean by that is, you have to make your bed first. You have to clean your room first, and then you can go out there and then try to save the world or do something philanthropic. Because some of the people in my network, or some of the people that I'm connected to, of course, want to do something and want to help the world and want to do these things, but they don't have their affairs in order at home. They don't have their personal finance affairs in order, their education in order, their career in order, their house in order. And I feel that has to come first. And when we're talking about how can we make the world a better place, if you can have your affairs in order first, then you're in a situation where you don't have to project judgment onto others, whether it's on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. You don't have to look towards people that have more, let's say millionaires or billionaires or whatever it may be, and say, you know what, these are bad people because of X, Y, and Z. And you stop thinking about all these people that are taking things from me, all these people that are forcing me to work a minimum wage, per hour, all these people that are forcing me to live in a studio apartment. And you start thinking about, can I get my affairs in order first? And then how can I make the world a better place? So absolutely, like Yu-kai mentioned, there's ways to use gamification to plant, 1.5 million trees around the world, and that helps the global economy. Absolutely. Now imagine how much better the global economy could be if every person feels empowered. And maybe we have some kind of a gamified way for them to feel empowered and to start paying off their debt. Start spending less time, so much time on Instagram Reels, whatever they're called, YouTube Shorts. And now they spend more time listening to podcasts like this one. And they're able to be educated and grow their career. You know, you kind of had this idea when we came out of college. It was called FD career, future delivery career. And it was this idea of how can we create this persona of, back then we wanted to be investment banker. So of an investment banker, a management consultant, I don't know, an accountant. And like, what does their career path look like? And how can we gamify that career path so that the student knows how to follow that path? And I think it's still a great opportunity. But that's how I approach it, right? So bottom up, can we get that individual to empower themselves? And now the world, as the whole world, is just better because now they have people who can financially support themselves, their kids, they're getting an education. And absolutely, there's things macro level that is affecting that. But I like to think about from the person first.